Welcome to another Cartne how-to video. Our topic today is what does a vocal coach do and who needs one? Our guest is Judy Rodman. She was a successful recording artist, making it all the way to #1 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles Chart in 1986 with the song Until I Met You. She also won the Academy of Country Music's Top New Female Vocalist Award in 1985. Among her many songwriting credits is LeAnn Rimes' smash hit One Way Ticket. Overall, she's appeared on over 2,000 recordings. Today, Judy is a producer and one of the most sought-after vocal instructors in Nashville. So, Judy, my first question for you is, who needs a vocal coach?
Anyone who needs to improve their singing or speaking vocal ability, and that includes vocal range, resonance, control of pitch, rhythm, and vocal licks, and style, impact, which means communication skills, and mental focus and confidence, which deals with things like conquering stage anxiety and being a laser beam on stage or in the studio. It's also for anyone who wants to protect or improve their vocal health. And really, it's for anyone who uses their voice in their career.
So what you're saying is that speakers, teachers, and anyone else who uses their voice constantly could benefit from vocal coaching. Is that accurate?
Anyone who uses their voice for singing or speaking, that's exactly right. And that includes people who speak a lot in their daily jobs. A lot of singers are waitresses or receptionists or people like that who have to do a lot of speaking during the day. And the truth is the speaking voice can sabotage the singing voice even more than singing can. So yes, anyone who uses their voice in a significant way in any way.
In some professions, such as being a waiter, you can spend hours shouting over everyone else.
You're shouting over everyone else and you're trying to make yourself heard. And also through the day, speakers, and that includes people that speak on the phone a lot in business meetings, they tend to get tired. And when they get tired, they slump. And that, as you would learn from a vocal coach, is a saboteur for the voice in all ways. So to make yourself aware of techniques for speaking that protect the voice and also increase your speaking impact, your communication skills, is very important to learn.
So what exactly does a vocal coach do for you?
Well, they create the atmosphere, first of all, for exploration, not intimidation. That's the first thing they should do, because you can't really learn in the arts, and the voice is so sensitive to everything that it's your brain is thinking. You really need to feel like you're playing, you're exploring the vocal cave of what can I do, The second thing a vocal coach should do is assess your strengths and weaknesses. And then they need to use creative approaches for each voice to discover what the voice can do, and it's always more than you think it can, to heal any damage or irritation that the voice is experiencing from bad vocal technique, to improve and expand the vocal ability in all directions, and to maintain the voice's ability as well. And that means between tours, before performances, all kinds of things. And also, the vocal coach should help protect and improve vocal health. The last thing I would say is that the vocal coach needs to help the voice train what I call in situ, which means in the situation the voice is going to be needing to perform in. And that includes live stage performance techniques, how to hold a mic, how to position yourself at a mic stand, and how to focus the mind like a laser. It also would include a situation of being in the recording studio. And there are specialized training techniques for the recording studio because that's a place that you don't usually have your audience. And so there are lots of ways that the recording situation is very different than the live situation. And you want to be able to train the speaking voice, as we said, for interviews and meet and greets and chats between songs and that kind of thing. So in situation.
So vocal coaching is far more than just helping someone be a better singer.
Yes, it is. The voice exists to deliver messages. It professionally exists to deliver messages very well that get the response that you want. And it's very important to do that very well because the professional use of the voice is competitive. And you need to be competing with only yourself. You need to be the best you can be. But that means that you're doing everything the best you can at getting the impact that you want, which means getting the response you want from the person that you're singing or talking to.
So how long should a person take vocal lessons?
Well, they should take them regularly, meaning weekly or bi-weekly, or bi-monthly, until you get to where you want to be or need to be vocally with your ability and your health. And then the second thing I would say is you need to take lessons for as long as you want to use your voice professionally, just like an athlete. And, that means you don't necessarily take every week or every other week, but that you need to have a vocal coach that you can reach out to if you need help, like before recording a particular project, before an important gig or before touring. And you also need to be able to reach out to them whenever your voice is struggling or tired, or maybe you get in trouble because you are tired and you've gotten into some bad habits. So yes, you need to train regularly to get up to speed at whatever you're about to do, but you also need to touch base with a vocal coach for your whole career.
So how do you choose the right vocal coach for you?
I'm going to give you 3 ways. 1, by a referral or word of mouth. There's nothing like someone else saying, yes, she actually improved my voice, or I know that she improved such and such's voice. All right, so a referral. The second way is by an internet search, and you want to look for samples of both the vocal coach's training and their own singing or speaking. I mean, if they suck as a singer, I don't know that you want to be trained by them. Okay, and the third way is by a trial lesson. Just, book a 30-minute or an hour vocal lesson with them and see how you feel afterwards.
Do vocal coaches differ from genre to genre?
The main difference between vocal coaches really is classical and contemporary. And some classical coaches do train contemporary voices, but a lot of times a contemporary vocal coach does not have enough classical repertoire to do that. So that's the main thing, is that you want to make sure that the vocal coach trains, if you're doing contemporary voice, trains more than classical voice.
How does a singer or speaker qualify a vocal coach?
In my experience, for the best vocal coaches, a vocal coach that you really want to trust needs to be experientially qualified. And that means they need to have experience both as a singer themselves or speaker themselves and having taught singers successfully for a number of years. So I would say the experiential factor is the most important qualifier.
Is training with online courses or by watching vocal coaches on YouTube good enough?
You can train successfully with YouTube vocal lessons. You can improve. And you can improve with really great coaches, programs that are recorded on disc or on online courses. You can improve that way. But there's no substitute for one-on-one vocal coaching because they can customize your training for you. And then you can still use online training or courses, but having that customized approach, at least for a few lessons, is a great idea.
So you recommend some in-person training?
I recommend that some, at least, lessons be in person. And if for financial reasons you can't afford to train with a higher level coach, a really great thing is to get that coach's online training or look at their YouTube videos and train that way. And then step back in for a personal lesson. But I do think you should be able to at least every other month. I mean, everybody can do that. Where there's a will, there's a way. You should touch base personally with a coach, yes.
Many coaches are doing Zoom lessons these days. Is that just as effective as an in-person lesson?
There is no difference between in-person and online, in my experience. I mean, I train people even just over the phone. So they can, if they want to come in, and they can come in because they just want that personal, like live meeting with their vocal coach, that's great. But it's not necessary. And in the pandemic years, if the vocal coach prefers not to, it's better to use that great vocal coach on Zoom or online rather than use a lesser vocal coach in person.
That concludes our video on what is vocal coaching and do I need it. We'd like to thank Judy Rodman for sharing her vast experience and expertise.